Wow! Can you believe it? We are already in the second day of Sustainability International Conference.
Wow, I'm enjoying the yesterday's session.
Yeah, that's right. Let's hope that today's session will be way more amazing than yesterday.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because today we are going to have a very different topic and it's amazing too, just like yesterday.
Yes, and also we are wearing something beautiful.
Of course,
Yeah.
as you can see, we are wearing all red and let's spill it later.
Okay. Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to the Sustainable International Conference 2022. I'm the Moderator, and my partner,
Jimmy.
We are delighted to welcome you to the Sustainability International Conference 2022 at the Thomas Aquinas Theater and with the theme Equitable Environment and Resource Management for Poverty Alleviation.
I would like to remind you that there is also a re-registration form for you to fill out in the Zoom chat. Please make time to re-register for your e-certificate purposes. We also want to remind all the participants in the Zoom meetings to rename your account as full name _ room. For example, Gregory Jimmy _ room A. And also don't forget to use our virtual background and open up your camera because we want to see your beautiful faces. And don't forget to follow safety protocol.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if yesterday we are wearing kebaya from Central Java, then today we are wearing something different and a lot more beautiful.
Now, please ease us by telling what we are wearing today.
Well, if you want to know, today we are wearing Bodo's costume from the South Sulawesi. And also, each color represents a different meaning. If today we are wearing red, red means in adult age and mature.
Wow, and another fun fact that the traditional costume we are wearing today is one of the traditional costume, the one that's oldest in Indonesia.
Wow.
Let's give opportunity for the audience to give a better look about our costume today.
Okay.
Wow, as you can see, it's very, very beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, to formally start our second day, let's bow in silence in prayer to help to make the rest of our conference program a success. Please pray according to your own beliefs. You may start now. Amen. Thank you for everyone's support in prayer.
And ladies and gentlemen, after this, we would like to present to you the Gratia choir from our university. They have lots of winning the prizes and championship around the world. And their performance today is a sample of their hard work. So, please enjoy Gratia choir! such an amazing performance. Once again, please give applause to Gratia Choir.
I can't imagine how long they've been preparing to show such an amazing performance. Well, Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we now have the opportunity to listen to the opening speech delivered by the Vice Rector for Innovation, Research and Development, Mr. Robertus Setiawan Nugroho, PhD.
For Mr. Robertus Setiawan Nugroho, PhD, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor of Central Java, the Director, Deputy Directors, and representatives of the Regional Development Planning Agency of Central Java, and also the National Research and Innovation Agency, Rector of SCU, the Head of Research and Community Service Center, the Chair of SIC Committee, and also our distinguished keynote speakers, Professor Krikke, Dr. Maliki, and Professor Budi Widianarko, as well as Dr. Setianto as the moderator. Also, honorable presenters, guests, audiences, and all committee members. Good morning and welcome to the day 2 of the first Sustainable International Conference at SCU. On the first day of the seminar, we have learned about issues related to the sustainability and the opportunities on dealing with the new, or we call it as the better normal. We also discussed the strategy to strengthen the role of the Regional Research and Innovation Agency in local government for supporting regional development planning, including sharing about the local tradition in relation with their anthropocene. In the second day, we will elaborate more on circular economy, which will be shared by Professor Krikke, and Dr. Maliki will further discuss about the poverty alleviation issues, followed by Professor Budi Widianarko, who will enlighten us on the sustainability through food transformation as the pathways to the food sovereignty. This conference provides us an opportune moment to contribute on developing equitable environment and resource management, especially for poverty alleviation. It is in line with one of the SU's most important missions, to extend both the knowledge and culture for the humanity. On behalf of Soegijapranata Catholic University, I would like to thank all the speakers and presenters. This conference wouldn't be beneficial without your presence. Your opinions and views on issues related to the sustainability will for sure be useful to achieve future solutions. At last, I would like to thank the Regional Development Planning Agency of Central Java, the National Research and Innovation Agency, and all the committee members to make all of this worthwhile. Thank you and enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Mr. Robertus Setiawan Nugroho, PhD, for your warm opening speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can now have 10 minutes coffee break for our secondary session, plenary session for today's Sustainability International Conference.
Please enjoy your coffee break.
Welcome to Soegijapranata Catholic University. Located on the panoramic upper region of Semarang, Soegijapranata Catholic University is a safe and cool climate where students can learn, laugh, and grow together. A hub of progressive academics, enduring friendships, and a learning center that combines tradition with progress. It's the passion of the student body, educators, and administrators that make Soegijapranata Catholic University truly unique. Founded Founded in 1982, Soegijapranata Catholic University's undergrad and master's programs center on the three dharmas of higher education, which are education, research, and community service. Setiawan Catholic University combines the Christian values of compassion, justice, and honesty, the rigor of modern scientific research, and individual growth programs to one day create the solutions that will give back to the community. With extensive networks, domestic and international, students can easily access and make connections with people all over the world. To take the first step on a lifelong journey, visit our website for more information on the plan. A gift of knowledge awaits.
Jadi nanti satu slide itu yang lakukan pertama ya apa? Slide itu ya dibagian aja biasa.
Iya, maksudnya digabung dalam satu peta.
Jadi bagian pertama itu yang tangan tangan itu terus dibikin terus kecil sampai dan nempel tangannya. Terus next kan slide kedua. Slide kedua ini thank you. Terus tapi kedua see you on.
Oh iya, ini emang ini.
Terus aku itu yang itu yang penutupan organisasi.
Oh
Itu kan. Yang tangan. Di atas ini.
University is a safe and cool climate where students can learn, laugh, and grow together. A hub of progressive academics, enduring friendships, and a learning center that combines tradition with progress. It's the passion of the student body, educators, and administrators that make Soegijapranata Catholic University truly unique. Founded in 1982, Soegijapranata Catholic University's undergrad and master's programs center on the three dharmas of higher education, which are education, research, and community service. Soegijapranata Catholic University combines the Christian values of compassion, justice, and honesty, the rigor of modern scientific research, and individual growth programs to one day create the solutions that will give back to the community. With extensive networks, domestic and international, students can easily access and make connections with people all over the world. To take the first step on a lifelong journey, visit our website for more information on applying. A gift of knowledge awaits.
By considering future conditions, excellent planning will generate decisions or outcomes. The Regional Planning, Research and Development Agency, or Badan Perencanaan Pembangunan Penelitian dan Pengembangan Daerah, abbreviated as BAPEDA, is a supporting element for government affairs in the planning, research and development sector. Under the Wages Authority, this agency acts as a working unit for the governor as a representative of the central government for planning. BAPEDA was first established in 1974, and its initial functions included planning, research, and development. In 2001, this organization was split into BAPEDA and Balitbang, where BAPEDA was the planning supervisor, and Balitbang, or Badan Penelitian dan Pengembangan, was the supervisor of research and development. In 2016, the planning, research, and development function were recombined under BAPEDA. Henceforth, the central level province's BAPEDA is in charge of planning, research, and development functions to support regional development planning. BAPEDA of Central Java is expected to provide development designs and innovations to support provincial advancement consistently, following the vision of the Central Java provincial government menuju Jawa Tengah yang sejahtera dan berdikari, bebas korupsi, bebas korupsi.
Ada cabai rawitnya sih.
Terus ada teladannya.
Oke, thank you ya Pak ya. Ada bulu, ya, bulu karena aku sudah tak sapi telah protokol ya. Yang nggak tahu aku ya.
Apa yang sponsor kemudian ketakutan? langsung
Padahal tadinya gitu. Wah, udah masuk kok.
terus kan kamu mereka
Aneh Pak, kita tuh takut udah main Pak. Pikirkan kemungkinan. Dari LBS gitu, LBS. Ketika dari LBS kan suara dan kamera nggak sure Pak.
udah di kamera bawa ada sekarang
Input dari kami.
untungnya dari awal kamu ngambil audio kan untungnya enggak susah obat enggak ada
Mati lah kita.
kalau di play
Kamu tuh orangnya ini sampai ini tak bakal sama ada cari kan? Aku gak ada. Ini lagi sorry. Ada apa yang yang ini loh?
lama-lama dompet jam dulu
Raising and development training is essential for determining future actions in the development of a particular area. The plan is scoped to accomplish the desired development goals by considering future conditions. Excellent planning will generate good decisions or outcomes. The Regional Planning, Research and Development Agency, or the Regional Development abbreviated as Rector, is a supporting element for government affairs in the planning, research and development sector. Under the Wages Authority, this agency acts as a working unit for the governor as a representative of the central government operating. Bapeda was first established in 1974 and its initial functions included planning, research and development. In 2001, this organization was split into Bapeda and Balita, where Bapeda was the planning supervisor and Balita, or Badan Penelitian dan Pengembangan, was the supervisor of research and development. In 2016, the planning, research and development function were recombined under Bapeda. Henceforth, the Central Java Province's Bapeda is in charge of planning, research and development functions to support regional development.
susah kayak mati gitu
Bapeda of Central Java is expected to provide development designs and innovations to support provincial advancement consistently, following the vision of the Central Java provincial government menuju Jawa Tengah yang sejahtera dan berdikari, bebas korupsi, bebas korupsi.
kadang aja nggak apa-apa aku juga lupa separuh tadi kok zoomnya baru di konten apa
Regional development planning is essential for determining future actions in the development of a particular area. The plan is scoped to accomplish the desired development goals by considering future conditions. Excellent planning will generate good decisions or outcomes. The Regional Planning, Research and Development Agency, or Badan Perencanaan Pembangunan Penelitian dan Pengembangan Daerah, abbreviated as Bapeda, is a supporting element for government affairs in the planning, research and development sector. Under the Wages Authority, this agency acts as a working unit for the governor as a representative of the central government operating. Bapeda was first established in 1974 and its initial functions included planning, research and development. In 2001, this organization was split into Bapeda and Balita, where Bapeda was the planning supervisor and Balita, or Badan Penelitian dan Pengembangan, was the supervisor of research and development. In 2016, in the planning, research, and development function were combined under Bapeda. Henceforth, the Central Data Province's Bapeda is in charge of planning, research, and development functions to support regional development. Bapeda of Central Java is expected to provide development designs and innovations to support provincial advancement and sustainability, following the vision of the Central Java provincial government menuju Jawa Tengah yang sejahtera dan berdikari, bukan korupsi, bukan abusi.
Ladies and gentlemen, the coffee break time have been over, so please join the main hall room to continue our session. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that there's also re-registration for the online participants. You can do it on the chat box. There will be sent a link, and for the offline participants, you can scan it on the screen that will be presented a minute again. And please make sure that you rename your account as full name _ your chosen group. For example, _room A. And also don't forget to use our virtual background because we wanted to see your beautiful faces.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our second plenary session. For the next session is the plenary session with speakers moderated by the chairperson of Southeast Asia Studies and member in many Asia communities. He is the right person to become the moderator for today's plenary session because he published books related to our topics today. And is also a lecturer at the Environment and Urban Studies, Faculty of Law, Soegijapranata Catholic University, being specialized in human rights, environmental governance, and civil society movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Benedictus Danang Setianto, S.A., LLM, MIL on stage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ceremonies, both of you. You've done such a great job. Before I start, I would like to make sure that all the speakers has already been here. Professor Krikke, are you here? Online, especially. Can anybody tell me? No, not yet. Okay. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to start this second plenary session this morning, and we will have 3 speakers for today. But unfortunately, we're still waiting for the Professor Krikke to join the Zoom line. And here we already have Professor Budi Widianarko. I would like to invite Professor Budi Widianarko to come on stage so that I will not stay here alone. And then for the next speakers, the third speakers, when you read the program book, it's supposed to be Dr. Pungky, but unfortunately, Dr. Pungky could not make it. So Dr. Pungky will be replaced by Dr. Maliki. However, Dr. Maliki will not also present outline here, but we will try to broadcast his video, his speech through video. Then later on, his staff, we have two staffs here, two of his staff here, to answer any questions later on. So since Professor Krikke has not been here yet, I would like to give the opportunity for the first times for us to show the presentations of Dr. Maliki. Committee, could you play the video of Dr. Maliki presentations? Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, shalom. Yang terhormat Bapak Rector Krikke Soegijapranata, yang terhormat Kepala Bapeda Provinsi Jawa Tengah, yang terhormat Ketua Panitia Internasional Seminar Applicable Environment and Resource Management of Poverty Alleviation di Nugroho, Minister for Population and Labor, Robertus, we would like to express our sincere appreciation to Universitas Katolik Soegijapranata for organizing this important event. This event is crucial to provide dialogue and sharing experiences on how to ensure and increase the collaboration in building a green, resilient, and inclusive economy that could give an impact on poverty. However, due to another assignment, Mr. Pungky Sumadi could not attend and present today. Allow me to read his presentation. My name is Maliki. I am Director for Poverty Alleviation and Community Empowerment. Climate change and human capital development are mutually impacting. Understanding the relationship is therefore critical to ensuring effective climate change mitigation and adaptation, as well as to mitigate and alleviate poverty. Today, our planet Earth is facing a triple planetary crisis of climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss. This triple crisis is threatening the livelihoods and survival of millions of people worldwide, and the consequences are expected to worsen in the future. According to the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change report, IPCC, climate change would expose 50 to 75% of the world's population to life-threatening catastrophes by 2100. Meanwhile, increased pollution, particularly air pollution, has been identified as the leading cause of disease and premature death worldwide, accounting for up to 4.2 million deaths per year. Furthermore, biodiversity loss adversely threatens human beings and ecological services, affecting health, food security, and even political conflicts. The emergence of the triple planetary crisis amidst the current economic conditions, COVID-19 impact, and geopolitical unrest will have significant implications on poverty, inequality, economic growth, and human development. As a result, our development goals, including achieving sustainable development goals, are consequently under threat. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia experiences frequent natural disasters, totaling 5,402 in 2021 alone. Of this, approximately 90% are hydrometeorological phenomena, including tornadoes, flooding, and landslides, all of which are expected to worsen due to climate change. High population density in hazard-prone areas, coupled with strong dependence on the country's natural resource base, make Indonesia vulnerable to climate variability and climate change. The effect is projected to cost between 2.5 to 7% of our gross domestic product. The National Agency for Disaster Management, BNPB, recorded natural disasters during 2021 affecting more than 8.2 million people. 728 people died, about 150,000 houses and 4,400 public facilities were destroyed. Over 110 million people in approximately 60 Indonesian cities are exposed to the negative impacts of climate change. This country's reliance on agriculture-based livelihoods heightens the risk of poverty for those exposed to climate-related shocks such as variation in precipitation and increases in temperatures. Finally, the country's locations on the brink of fire exposes its populations to high risk of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, and landslides. Indonesia is among the 52 countries with the highest number of poor people exposed to floods. A study found that rice farming households residing in areas that experience a low rainfall following the monsoon's onset in Indonesia experienced a 14% reduction in their per capita expenditures. Furthermore, these households have to maintain their food needs at the expense of non-food expenditures, including health and education. This changes directly reducing investment in human capital, with potential longer-term effects on poverty reduction. Previous studies have suggested that if poverty reduction and human capital development measures are not deliberately combined with targeted climate resilience measures, climate change could force more than 100 million people into extreme poverty by 2030. To be most effective, designing and implementing solutions to end extreme poverty and stabilize climate change as an integrated strategy is therefore our priority. Climate resilience policies and low carbon development have been embedded as a national priority within our current National Development Planning documents of RPJM 2020-2024, and also been mandated by Article 3.4 UNFCCC. On the climate resilience strategy, we focus on priority sectors, namely marine and coastal water, agriculture, and health. As these four sectors contribute significantly to GDP sector revenue. Based on our analysis in 2021, we categorize priority locations based on their potentially harmed due to climate change up to 2045. Based on the study, the economy growth due to climate change will reach 544 trillion rupiah in 2024. Climate resilience development potentially benefit to reduce the loss for about 51.7%, or only to 283 trillion rupiah. A total of 11.65 million poor people in Indonesia face a high threat of climate hazards. Not only physical losses, climate change also has the potential to eliminate livelihoods, so that it has the potential to increase the number of poor people in Indonesia. Bappenas has identified several priority locations in its priority sectors with higher poverty rates. There are around 216 districts in marine sectors, 176 districts in coastal sectors, 208 districts in water sectors, 367 districts in agriculture, and 165 districts in health sectors. As an example, Kabupaten Pangandaran in West Java is the priority location in those 4 sectors with more than 30,000 people living below poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, a disaster responsive social protection is therefore essential to addressing climate risk as part of a broader suite of human capital policies. We have massive lessons learned from the current pandemic, which shows that adaptive social protection is crucial to mitigate the effect of disaster. This strategy is consistent with SDGs, regulations that prioritize disaster victims, and our National Midterm Development Plan, RPJM 2020 to 2024. As part of Indonesia's social protection reform, an ASD will consist of more adaptive and focused social assistance, comprehensive and nationwide social insurance, and stronger social services. In addition, integrated social protection reform ensuring the provision of basic services, as well as economic empowerment programs that will ensure more competitive and productive human capital. During the COVID-19 pandemic, government has issued a fiscal stimulus package in the form of expanded social assistance to accelerate national economic recovery. The government has also issued a high-level regulations or PERPU to improve the national budget flexibility to allow modifications to mitigate the COVID-19 impact, including allowing a higher budget deficit and relaxing the rigidity of government budget arrangement. Based on the PERPU, the National Economic Recovery Fund, or PAN, was established. Further discussion and studies for more sustainable financing mechanisms is also one of the aspects in adaptive social protection. Social protection has strong potential to support climate adaptation and disaster risk mitigation through complementary benefits, climate-sensitive economic inclusions, and by leveraging SB interventions and delivery systems more adequately for soft preparedness, response, and recovery. Safety net programs, in particular, are increasingly providing non-SB linkages to beneficiaries to provide a more comprehensive suite of benefits and services to facilitate poverty reduction. This can strengthen further climate adaptation objective. For instance, with housing sectors, where complementary benefits can support climate-smart and climate-resilient housing for the poor, in energy sectors to facilitate diversification away from fossil fuels and harmful energy sources. Public works can play an important role in supporting mitigation projects at the community level and contributing to disaster recovery efforts after climate shocks. Furthermore, public work projects that complement with access to credit can assist households coping with weather shocks and therefore have played a strong protective role during the times of crisis. Social protection delivery systems, such as social registries, payment mechanisms can help ensure faster, more effective response to poor and vulnerable households affected by climate shocks. Ladies and gentlemen, learning from the experiences and moving forward for recovering the people's welfare, we are formulating the social protection reform in our annual working plan 2021. The social protection reform aims to anticipate the increasing poverty rate due to the pandemic COVID-19 and accelerate the poverty alleviation so that we can achieve the zero extreme poverty in 2024. Indonesia effort will be focused on 6 aspects as a social protection reform, where the accurate data is the entry point. Developing an integrated social protection information system is one of the vital keys to supporting social protection programs, integration, and interoperability. COVID-19 has prompted the government to increase the number of households in our database for social protection programs. Registering the names and addresses of not only poor and vulnerable households, but also lower middle class households, which is aspiring middle class, who are at risk of falling into poor or vulnerable category in case of a crisis or other catastrophes in the future. In addition to that, an integrated system which covers a larger population will enable the flow and management of information among the social protection programs and with other programs. We hope that database can help decision makers across ministers as well as the local government to determine the potential eligible beneficiaries for government programs based on comprehensive socio-economic information. A collaboration across several programs must be strengthened and prioritized. We currently have several programs in various ministries that are directed at making a community disaster resilient, ranging from assisting the community understand the risk and vulnerabilities in case of a disaster to responding and taking actions in all stages of disaster reduction. These programs, along with the participation of non-government actors, will help to fill communities' remaining needs and gaps, thereby making the impact more significantly to the community. The government of Indonesia, through the Ministry of National Development Planning, Bappenas, has established a framework for a series of environment strategic action that address the three planetary crises. In addressing climate change, Indonesia has developed a set of integrated platforms known as low carbon development and climate resilience policies that deal with issues across key sectors, such as energy, land, health, agriculture, and so on. Moreover, through our waste and pollution management program, we aim to tackle the challenges of water, air, solid and hazardous pollution. We are also exploring a slow onset disaster risk reduction programs. Besides, in terms of biodiversity, Bappenas has established the Indonesian Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, with the goal of promoting sustainable use and halving biodiversity loss. These strategic actions are part of the mission of Indonesia's Green Economy Strategy within economic transformation, which is intended to lead Indonesia to achieve significant goals, including sustainable development, the Paris Agreement, Indonesia Must 2045, and net zero emissions. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Indonesia recognizes the importance of keeping our green economy on track and effectively measuring the progress along the way. Hence, the Bappenas has launched a Green Economy Index during the third G20 Development Working Group meeting in Bali. The Green Economy Index is introduced as solid measuring to track Indonesia's progress toward green economy. The index comprises 15 indicators of economic, environment, and social pillars that are representative, tangible, and accurate, and measured by the methodology that is commonly used in international practices. The challenges may take the form of high investment needs, technology and innovation gaps, and the requirement for significant policy reforms. Despite having more than enough resources, Indonesia is unable to fully utilize them due to a technological and innovation gap, particularly given the absence of a local green technology industry and R&D advancement activities. Ladies and gentlemen, in this regard, I wish to end my speech by emphasizing that there must be significant cooperation efforts and collaboration involving not only the government, but also business, academia, media, and community, which can play a strategic role and shall work together to address current development challenges. I encourage all participants to share their views and information on this crucial issue. I sincerely extend my highest appreciation to all of you. I I hope we will have productive and fruitful discussion during this event. To conclude, I hope that this conference will lead to concrete and effective collaboration amongst all stakeholders, promoting more equitable environment and resources that can accelerate reducing poverty and inequality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maliki. So I will invite a big round of applause for Dr. Maliki, whether online or virtually, when you are joining online. Dr. Maliki was graduate from University of Hawaii, Faculty of Economics. And before we come into the question and answer, I would like to invite another speakers. So we will put all the question and answers at the end of these sessions. So since we're still waiting for the Professor Krikke to join the online or the Zoom sessions, so I would like to invite Professor Widianarko. Professor Widianarko is our own colleagues. He is the professor of the a lot of things. Actually, he graduated mainly on the eco-toxicology, but he teaches as a professor in the Faculty of Technology and Environmental Science. Also teaches in the master program for the Environment and Urban Studies, and also food technology. So, time is yours. Thank you very much. Sure.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So it's quite interesting to have this kind of hybrid conference. So I thought this class will be fully packed and I will have a very high adrenaline concentration in my blood, but it's quite interesting. Let's try. Yeah. Okay. So my presentation today is on urban food system transformation, pathway to food sovereignty.
Anybody can help the pointers?
Okay. So I will touch on 4 keywords actually. One is the food system. Second one is on food and the city. It's not sex and the city, but food and the city. And then SIP projects. And the last one is finding and synthesis, including a very short envelope. So basically, I'd like to share with you an ongoing project that I'm working together also with Mr. Chairman actually on urban food system transformation. So, food system, to my personal definition, actually, if I may. So, my tentative definition for food system is actually the entire food chains within the economic, social, cultural, and environmental spheres. So all the activities, starting from the agricultural production until the consumption, it takes place in the economic space, socio-cultural space, and not to mention the last one, the most important probably, environmental space. It includes all elements, natural resources, human input, processing, industry, infrastructure, execution, and all activities related to the production, processing, distribution, preparation, and consumption of food, and output of these activities, including their impact on the environment, health, and socio-economic condition of the community. Yeah, So graphically, probably food system can be seen in this picture. So if we look at the, I hope I can do the pointers. Okay, so we have resources, utilization of resources in the context of farming process, and then the production of the result of the farming system. Then we will have transportation, consumption, and finally, of course, human health and well-being as the outcome of this process. But we have to bear in mind that this food chains or food supply chain, to be more precise, takes place in the arena of economy, and then it enlarges into the arena of social culture, and last but not least, the larger one is within the environment. So I would say the food supply chain is a physical entity, but as soon as it enters the social cultural system, it's become more conceptual, more abstract, and then it goes to environment, which is again back to more physical entity. So these pictures actually try to say that actually food production, food consumption, food processing cannot stand alone without the contribution of the environment, and also without any impact to the environment. So talking about the impact on the environment, food system put a lot of pressure actually to the environment. And to make it short, 70% of freshwater extraction in this earth is actually related directly or indirectly to agriculture and food production. And 40% of land use also related to food, agriculture and food. And 30% of greenhouse gases emission, as the first speaker just now presented, is also contributed by food and agriculture. There are many challenges faced by food system itself. There is an increasing demand of food, but at the same time, food is also being the main user of natural resources. There is a problem of distribution and unequal access. The quantity of food is more than enough, but the distribution and the access still have a problem. And then there is another phenomenon called nutrition transition. Nutrition transition usually takes place in the emerging economies, so to developing countries, so to speak, which try to copy the so-called westernized diet pattern, and as a result, we will face a lot of problem with like obesity, like the hypercaloric type of diets, and then we also face problem of food loss and waste, also gender gap here. Most women working within the food system usually not as the leader, but the decision will be taken mostly by men. And then we have also lack of consumer awareness and a lot of challenges actually faced by food system. And then talking about food loss and waste. You can see from this picture that food wastage can take place along the food supply chain, ranging from the agricultural production until the consumption. And this is one of the big problem in terms of environmental problem as well as climate change challenge. So global food loss and waste has a carbon footprint of more than 4 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year. And if it were a country, it would rank as the third top emitters after the United States and China. So if we have a country called food loss and waste, then this country will be number 3, after US and China. So the number is really staggering, the number is really make us unhappy. So now we go a little bit closer to the challenge faced by Indonesian food system. One is of course food security, as our president just said yesterday in the G20 meetings, and most of developing countries face the problem of food security. We have also a problem of food diversity. We have so many species diversity in terms of plants, but probably only handful of plant species which are being consumed. And then we have a problem with food consumption. On the one hand, there are people who cannot consume enough food in terms of quantity and quality. But on the other side of the coin, we have people who consume more than what is needed. So we have a problem of stunting and obesity. Sometimes people call this as a double burden of nutrition. And then we have also a problem of consumption of animal products. There's an international campaign for reducing the consumption of red meat. But on the other hand, the level of red meat consumption in Indonesia is very low. Very low. You can compare steak and satay. So you eat 500 gram steak is probably equal with 200 stick of satay. So we have an imbalanced diet which are mostly focused on calorie, mostly focused on carbohydrate. We have also problem food loss and waste, which is of course make us sad. While we still have problem with food security, then at the same time we have also producing a lot of food loss and waste. And then try to have a look at the global food security index. So Indonesia ranked 74 in 2015, and then it's getting better in 2019, ranked 62. So the higher the score, the worse actually the food security index. So it's doing better from 2015 to 2019 to 20. A little bit decrease in 2022. So what global food security index constitute of? One is affordability, whether the food is cheap or inexpensive or expensive. Second one is availability. People may have the money to buy, but if not available, then you have problem with food security. And then we go up to the level of quality and safety. And the last one, but not less importantly, sustainability and adaptation. So these are 4 elements of the measurements of global food security index. And I would like to show you what happened with the score of Indonesia in this regard compared to, let's say, our smallest neighbor. So I'm really fond of comparing Indonesia
and Singapore in this aspect. Not because I'm, admiring Singapore very much, but I see this as a kind of irony. Say Singapore has a population probably about 2% of the population of Indonesia, and the total area is just twice as big as the city of Sumadi in terms of total area. But if you look at this rank, Global Food Security Index, so Singapore is number 22, 22. Okay. Sorry, 28, and Indonesia is number 63. So the smallest the number, the better the food security situation. And it's interesting to see that in terms of affordability, the score for Singapore is very high. Yeah. But it's mean that quite people can buy the food. And then availability also higher than Indonesia. Quality and safety, it's also higher than us. How can that be? How can this kind of thing happen where Singapore you cannot find a real agricultural activities, a real food production, but then it's all about the money. So what money can buy? This is exactly what happened. Once the country has a very strong economic status, then they will be able to provide food for its citizens. Yeah. Okay. And then go to Indonesia has been, in terms of food waste and food loss, we are doing too well in this regard. In quote, too well. Yeah. So we waste food so much. Yeah. Even there was a time that Indonesia was number 3 in the world, according to this report of the Economist Intelligence Unit, and in 2018, Indonesia was number 3, right after Saudi Arabia. But now, okay, in this 2021 is number 8. Still, yeah. So we have problem with our food security, but at the same time, we produce a lot of food loss and waste. So this is a fast track for food loss and waste in Indonesia from 2000 to 2018, yeah, the volume is now up to 48 million tons per year, or equal to 184 kg per capita per year, with contribution to greenhouse gases of 7 point something. Economic losses up to 551 trillion rupiah. It's around 5% of the GDP. Just wasted from food. So everyone needs food, but once we have food, then we forget. We cannot finish them. Yeah. And in terms of nutrition loss, actually it can feed, if the total sum of food loss and waste can feed 125 million people. Almost 50% of the population. To see these pictures, of course, we should not be happy. Yeah, we should be sad to see this picture. It's very gloomy, actually. Yeah. Now, I would take you to the city. So we have the problem of food system, be it at the global level as well as in the country level. So there's an idea now. Why don't we start from the city to solve the problem? Because at least for tourism, One is cities are part of the problem and at the same time a solution to challenges of food system. Because cities are sources of innovation and experimentation. So why is that so? Because almost all big universities are located in cities. All research institutes, important institutes, located close to the city. Yeah. So ideally cities are not only absorber of natural resources, in this case food, but must also be able to meet some of their own food needs. So the idea now can then be create or we encourage cities to be food contributing cities. Cities that can feed themselves. That's the idea. Is it possible? That's a big question. But looks again at what happened in Singapore. That's why I really fond of this comparison with Indonesia and Singapore, because for me this is the biggest irony that Indonesia has to be able to overcome the problem. So Singapore has the so-called 30 by 30 plan. So in the year 2030, they are going to produce 30% of their own food. It sounds unbelievable, but just happened. I was, just to give you an illustration, I was there around 7 years ago in a special conference between Japan, Indonesia, and Singapore, organized by the National University of Singapore on the topic of food security and safety. I remember quite well that people from Singapore Food Authority, they introduced to the new profession to the people there to cultivate the so-called nila fish. So Oreochromis niloticus, that's the name of the fish, nila fish. They just started at that time 7 years ago, just to cultivate, and they managed to use a combination between coastal water, so brackish water basically with fresh water. They managed to cultivate just in an aquarium, and they show that we can cultivate this food. But now, if you look at the figure now, you will be surprised. Now already 17% of the fish consumption can be met by local production. So their plan is they will diversify the sources. So they are going to work with 100 something countries in the world in order to fulfill their food demand. That's one thing, diversify the source. Second, grow local, try to grow locally. And the last one, growing offices. If we can grow in our own land, then we can just do farming. Create a farm, probably in Africa or probably in Indonesia, and that's already takes place in North Sumatra. So a lot of vegetable plantation in North Sumatra actually, they're not directly owned by Singaporean, at least they are dedicated to the Singaporean market. So it's been their plans in our own land, in Indonesia. So instead of getting mad with this situation, I think we have to take this as an inspiration. We have to take this as inspiration. But Penny, I'm afraid I still have some more slides. Is it okay? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I mentioned earlier that maybe it's time now to let cities to produce their own food. Of course, not 100%, like what happened in Singapore. They have program of 30 by 30 in 2030. That's interesting. it is highly relevant now because it's not only because we like to compete with Singapore, but if you closely watch what happens in G20 meeting, there are two issues which are discussed intensively: food security and energy. Food security is something which is not not less prominent than energy. Yeah. So it is highly relevant now. And because of that reason, we like to see whether our city can be an example. So in this case, Semarang was chosen by Bappenas. Bappenas is National Planning and Development Agency. Yeah. To start to initiate a project is called Urban Shift Program. Shift stands for sustainable, healthy, inclusive food system transformation. Okay. Yeah. So Semarang was chosen as to represent Indonesia together with the cities in India, China, Morocco, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Costa Rica, Argentina, and then Brazil. And fortunately, we are from Soegijapranata University, SSU. Has been asked by Bappenas to execute some part of the project. So the study site is the city of Semarang, which has a total area. Total area is around 373 square kilometers, and yet it still have rice field. And the focus of the orientation of this project is try to realize three goals. One is consumption of healthy diet toward reducing malnutrition, food insecurity, and increasing consumption of strategic material products to fulfill the healthy health. And then socio-economic sustainability, and the last one is environmental sustainability, including biodiversity, climate change, environmental footprints, and so forth. And for this process, we employ several methods. One is case study, supported by a survey of consumption, and then we conducted a series of focus group discussion, 1 to 4, and then strengthened by 2 Delphi sessions involving relevant experts in the topic, and then we will have the result, and based on the result we do some analysis, and from analysis we have some conclusion and recommendation about how to transform the food system of Semarang. And we also have the policy study, which is conducted actually by the moderator. I am responsible for the so-called holistic assessment, and that the output of this exercise, this overall exercise, would like to have the formation of the so-called working groups or local champion, and second one is to develop the opportunity roadmap. So I would like to share with you, of course, not all of the results, but some interesting which make me a little bit happy. Yeah, a little bit happy. So interesting finding, the first interesting finding. So the city of Semarang still can contribute some food for its citizens. Yeah. In terms of rice, 15%, beef even more than 100%, chicken meat around 67%, and egg is around 50%. So this city is really one of, so I have a kind of aspiration that the cool city is not a city with full of skyscrapers, but city which can actually survive by utilizing the resources of the city wisely or sustainably. Yeah. Last week I've been visiting New York, so I was not so happy to see the let's say the part of New York is called Manhattan. Not even a small piece of greenery, all buildings, all skyscrapers. Yeah. But they are smart, so even Indonesian brand want to be, to be pictures or to be depicted in that Times Square. Okay. So Semarang is one of the examples that as a city has a potential, to provide. And then interestingly, there is also the second finding. According, this is of course to my personal subjective judgment. There is upstream and downstream linkage. So according to the data, we have the annual yield of top 6 fruit. Yeah. So 6 top fruits. And on the right hand side, you have 11 most consumed fruits. And when you look at the top 3, which are banana, papaya, and grapefruit, these 3 fruits actually also produce and belong to top 6 fruits produced by the city of Sumadi. So I'm quite happy to see the existence of the upstream and downstream linkage. Second, number 3, the commitment of municipal government is also very interesting. Yeah. You can see the increasing numbers of farmers group or kelompok tani in bahasa Indonesia from 2017 to 2021. It's not very not very steep increase. But then you look at the right hand side, this is number of farmer association, urban farming community. So the increase of number of urban farming community, which are mostly dominated by, I would say, Y generation, probably, so millennials, millennial and post-millennials. The number is increasing. So farming has been one of the probably future profession for the young people also in Sumadi. And if you look back to the slide of Singapore, I forgot to mention that Singapore now is lacking of agro-food expert, especially the farming, the farming. While we have plenty, we still have plenty vocational schools and also university department dealing with agriculture. So because they've been agriculture has been absent in Singapore for more than 40 years, and now they start to learn about agriculture. So it will be very erratic if they can fulfill the dream of 30 by 30, but we fail to increase the capacity of our city to provide its own food. Okay. And then another interesting finding in the last one. There's the existence of local food supply chains. So, take for example, Sumber Rezeki Farmer Association, or Tani Sumber Rezeki. They produce rice, and it is very clear that the rice is not only consumed by people outside Semarang, but also the rice also purchased by Semarang consumers. So this is also another promising evidence about the downstream, upstream, downstream linkage. The same also hold for the organic rice. Sorry, this for vegetable. For vegetable. So Dahlia Women Farmers Association, kelompok wanita tani Dahlia, they produce vegetable. So the vegetable is not only consumed by its member, but also sold to the kind of reseller, toko in this case, and then the consumption and the consumer is larger or beyond their own community. This is also another interesting examples. So I come to the synthesis of the study. There are some challenges still for transforming the food system of the city of Semarang. One, there is still no vision, common vision, be it by the government, by the citizen, by the so-called academe. Food transformation is not, food system transformation is not a priority. There is still inconsistent spatial planning policy, decreasing farmers' population. Yes, Semarang is still producing food for itself, but we also see the phenomenon of decreasing numbers of farmers' population. And there's still a problem with the balanced, safe and healthy diet. Incentive for doing farming activities still less interesting compared to other activities, and still limited farmland utilization. If you look at Semarang, as I mentioned, Semarang is an ideal city for this kind of venture, because Semarang is the second largest city, if not the largest city in Indonesia in terms of area. Second to Jakarta. Jakarta is not a city, but Semarang is a city, the largest one. But the population is only 1.7 billion. So this is one much. Semarang is bigger than Surabaya, but the population probably Surabaya almost more than 2 times of Semarang. So we still have land. Yes, Semarang, but the problem, the lands belong to whom, and then the land can be used. This land can be used for agriculture. That's the challenges. But of course, if you have challenges, you have also opportunities. So we see many opportunities in order to perform the urban food system transformation in the city of Semarang. The first one is strong government commitment. This is very big, and strong government commitment. We have technology and creativity and innovation in this city. I just like to mention some universities. There are already precursor of local champion. So there's already small initiative in some places, and we have some local leaders actually promoting this food production in the city. The system of strong local product. We have spring roll, for example, like lumpia, spring sticky rice cake, mengkompatan. We have many. We have many strong local soft food, milkfish, pandan presto. We have also there's a promise of education and literacy in the city. There's an increasing trend as well on the citizen on safe, healthy, and balanced diet. Maybe one of the example is Pasar Sehat Semarang, so healthy market Semarang. It's a kind of clubs of young people, mostly ladies actually, working on the promotion of healthy food, not only in terms of cooking, but also in terms of sourcing of the material. Okay. And then we have also some initiative on regenerative agriculture. Land is available, not to mention culinary based tourism. According to the statistic, in the last Idul Fitri holiday, actually the whole city of Semarang has managed to surpass Borobudur in terms of number of visitors. If they come to Semarang, I think culinary experience will not be dispensable. Of course, they will come to take pictures, to make a lot of pictures, as well as to taste some of our local delicacy. So we have the opportunities. So based on this, we can then have the direction of transformation in order to meet the idea of healthy food, healthy consumption, socio-economic sustainability, environmental sustainability. We have identified several drivers of the transformation. One is multi-party collaboration, innovation and research, education and literacy, market propagation, and establishment of agro-food sites, in order to come up with ideal food system with inclusive circular economy, agro-technology, local and excellent food product. So lastly, this is the opportunity roadmap that we are trying to propose as the output of our final output of our study. It looks like a fish here. So the movement of fish usually determined by the tail. So collaboration is the key word, and then we have 4 drivers there: education, literacy, research, innovation, market development, and agro part. And the result is, of course, the ideal food system. And this project now is still ongoing, and being implemented. So hopefully, if this project really works, this idea, this conceptual works, is really can be implemented, then you will see that Semarang will become one of the city which is called food contributing cities. So with that, I will close with my endnotes. The endnotes, of course, in order to realize that, there are several support needed. One is they still need consistent, strong permanent, strong government commitment, appropriate regulation and policies to support this, conducive environment for the growth of local initiative in urban farming, promotion of healthy, balanced and safe diet, and the key success factor. If you want to see the food system transformation to take place, first one is a collective vision of the transformation of the food system. Second, the consistency, the implementation of the regulation. And the last one, involvement of the local champions. So citizen leaders, in this case, as drivers and actors of transformation. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid that currently the Netherlands is around 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's approaching winter. And when we are in the winter time, you know, the sun will rise around 7:30, so it's really dark in the Netherlands at the moment. So I'm afraid that Professor Krikke still we can get from this group, or I don't know. You say, Professor Krikke is already here. Okay, good. Professor Krikke, good morning. Very early morning. Can you see it? No, not yet. Oh, that's different between this and this. Oh, not yet. Okay, sorry. I'm not ready here. I'm afraid that, you know, when we mentioned about the 10 o'clock a.m. in Indonesia, we mistakenly, you know, interpreted as 10 p.m. So that it will be like 4 p.m. in the Netherlands, not 4 a.m. So we have to check whether, you know, for the next hour it will show up in the Zoom room later on at 4 p.m. But so much is one, right? And the first two speakers really touch the main issues when we are talking about the relation between the environment and the development. So when we deal with the relation between the environment and development, the world globally has already compromised to come into a term what we call as the sustainable development. And since 2015, we agreed that there will be like 17 targets, including in the sustainable development goals. The first main target has already been discussed by Dr. Maliki. The first target is no poverty, and Dr. Maliki has already explored in his presentations what the Indonesian government do and will do in the future to eradicate the poverty. And the second speaker, Professor Widianarko, touched the second target of the SDGs, no hunger. Talking about the food system, talking about the food security, and especially towards the food sovereignty. So I do hope that, you know, the third speaker, Professor Krikke, as the professor that deal a lot with the supply chains and the operation research, will cover both issues, either how to eradicate the poverty or how to create an operational system to achieve the food sovereignty. But, you know, since up to now he hasn't joined us here yet, then I will open the forums for discussions. If you have any questions, if you have any personal opinions that supporting the idea of the two speakers or negating the arguments of the two speakers, whether it's Dr. Maliki or Professor Widianarko, please raise your hand, or if you join the Zoom, please, you can also raise your hand, you can speak directly, or you can, you know, type in the chat room. If there is any from here, from the participants, right? Okay, so one person from the committee can I have the information that there is a person in the chat room? How many questions has already been asked? No? Not yet. Okay. So please, send your name and institutions. And
thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alina Dayani. I'm from Bapeda province in Java. I have two questions for you. The first for Mr. Budi and the second for Mr. Malik. So maybe for Mr. Budi, it is about the food sovereignty. I guess, in my opinion, it is hard to achieve. It is not only for Indonesia actually, also for other countries. Yeah, even though it's become very topical issues for the recent years because we can produce our food by ourselves. And we develop character of land and cannot be used for all crops. I think this is the biggest problem. For example, if I'm not mistaken, we become one of the biggest importer of wheat. Yes, we use wheat to make bread and dough, and we also have dependency on this kind of food. And also meat and soybean, for example, we depend on 85% for imported soybean to fulfill our domestic need as well. And what do you think about this? Yes, and then also we also have the problem about the food diversification, I guess, because as long as I know, according to the whole food pattern, it's or we call it in Indonesia skor olah pangan harapan. Our score is quite good in diversification, but the dependency of rice is still high. So what the opinion by the Senate? Thank you. So for the second speaker, the first speaker, Mr. Malik, but it just said that the Central Java, about the climate change, it's the second province after the South Sulawesi to sign the MOU by the low carbon development in 2019. Principally, this initiative comes to reduce the greenhouse gas effect, but in the same time should increase the economic growth. And then our study in 2019 identification that greenhouse gas emission in Central Java showed that the energy industry sector is the largest greenhouse gas contributor, and then followed by the transportation, rice cultivation in a farm, and waste sectors. That the forestry is still the biggest contributor for emission reduction. Right. So our result also show that we got the problem, but synergize between our actors to tackle this problem, and then also about the we need collaboration for our actors to tackle the climate action, and then also it impact to not only some areas in Central Java, but we also have very limited report about the condition by the commitment of the local government in agency or municipality. I think very strong commitment with some program or activities to reduce the climate action. I think it is enough. So thank you.
Thank you very much. But I haven't got your name. Could you spell it? Your mention
my name?
Yeah, your name.
Alvina.
Alvina, okay.
Yes,
Alvina, thank you very much. Alvina from the Local Planning Agency.
Thank you.
Local Planning Agency. Is there any question from? Is there any question from the online? From the online? Sorry. I'm really from SCU. I'd like to ask Professor Widianarko how to effectively reduce the level of food waste, especially for the millennials who often leave their food. Okay. Eat all, please. That's and then one more.
Thank you. My name is Vivian. From Regional Urban Planning in Central Java Province. I have a question for Mr. Maliki. It is about to drive Indonesia's green economic transformation. How to implement the environmental strategic action? Is there any special regulation or rules that will apply?
Okay. Thank you very much. Three questions has already been asked. Ladies and gentlemen,
unfortunately, it is not Dr. Maliki himself that will answer the questions, but he's already assigned his assistants, Bu Fiska, to answer all the questions that has been addressed to Dr. Maliki. So I would like to make sure first whether Bu Fiska is already here in the Zoom. Okay, Bu Fiska, you're here, right? Is that Bu Fiska?
Yes, this is Pak. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I hope you can hear my voice clearly.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I give you the first chance to answer all the questions. First from Alvina, and then second from Vivi. Do you understand the questions?
Okay.
Or have you learned all the questions from both of the questioner?
Yeah. I have heard the two from Alvina and also Ibu Vivi. Okay. Thank you for the questions, Ibu Alvina and Ibu Wiwin. Okay, my name is Krista. I am a staff of Dr. Pungky and Dr. Maliki. So on behalf of Pak Maliki, I will try to answer. I can answer some of the questions related to the faculty allegations, but maybe some of are beyond our authority to answer. So I will pass on to our colleagues in the respective unit later, specifically for Director of Environment and Governance, but we will surely note the concerns. So the non-environmental disaster such as COVID-19 itself have been a great disaster for us, and thus we think of an adaptive social protections that combines three aspects: the social protections itself, the disaster risk management, and also climate change adaptation. And we understand that disasters and also climate change affect everyone, but the poor and the vulnerable will undoubtedly suffer the most. And we hope that by implementing the adaptive social protection policy, we will be able to create a map of who they are, where they are, and what they require in the event of a disaster or climate event, whether it is insurance, assistance, or post-disaster recovery, especially for those vulnerable groups like the elderly, women and children in every field of work, especially those who work in agriculture and also fisheries. And we hope that this will keep them from suffering further and also to prevent them falling below the poverty line. And also can help to ensure a faster and more effective response to the poor and vulnerable households. Currently, we are preparing the roadmap of adaptive social protections as well as the regulations for this policy. And as Dr. Maliki previously stated, engaging only the government side is insufficient, and we also need to engage the non-government stakeholders such as academia, university, the media, non-governmental organizations, and also development partners to together tackle the problem and also resonate the issues. And I think we have been engaging and also working together with other stakeholders. As Professor Widianarko said, Semarang has been chosen to collaborate. And he is also mentioned before, we have listed several programs in each ministry, but we have not mentioned several initiatives from the local government. They are all have initiated to improve the community resilience in case of disaster or climate change. We are aware that the majority of our programs typically focuses on the shock recovery programs or curative programs. But what we need to emphasize here is the preparations before the shocks, the preventive thing, which is very important, and we hope that this can be tackled by the adaptive social protection. I think I will stop here. I hope you can answer the questions from Ibu Alvina and Ibu Wiwin, and I'm sorry that maybe there are some questions that I cannot answer right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Fiska. I think Bu Fiska tried to limit, the scope of your answers concerning the director that is under the Dr. Maliki or Dr. Pungky. Okay.
So also juga harus silakan Ibu Alvina, it's a very interesting and yet classical question actually. I hope I will not give you a classical answer. Okay. So first, maybe we have to bear in mind that the idea of food system transformation is not making the so-called food self-sufficient city, rather than we focus on food contributing cities. So it's just contribute, not all. The second thing is that I'm really in favor of the so-called food globalization. Not because I'm a globalist in this aspect, but probably I belong to a group of people who really like to experience food from all over the world. So if you talk about food sovereignty, kedaulatan pangan, probably Singapore is one of the most sovereign country with respect to food, because the country can provide the best, not only in terms of number, but the best food produced by the world, because Singapore sources its food from 113 countries in an active collaboration. So if they want to have grapes, let's say, they will have the best, probably from Greece or from California. That's all the best, and then the citizen can go. So the imports of food is a kind of the beauty of globalization, but at the same time, as you may, as you have just raised the issue, it's quite risky. When the country is not really strong economically. The third thing is, I'm in favor of locally produced food. So we can then combine. We have food contributing cities idea, and we have the idea of local food, because local food is always better, in terms of nutrition, in terms of access, in terms of freshness of the food. Local food is always better. And within the idea of local food, you have local biodiversity of food. But we should not close the border of the city from fruit of meat, external sources. I'm always amazed when I visit metropolitan in the world. You can find every food from every corner of the world. You can have Bangladeshi food in Singapore, you can have Bangladeshi food in New York, everywhere. Indonesian food, there is Wayan, restaurant Wayan in New York. There is now, it's like Warmindo also in New York right now. So, we have to work in balance with. Of course, to have sovereignty in the sense of the city or the country have to fulfill all of its food. Of course, that's impossible. So we have to have a creative definition of sovereignty. But having local food is important. So if the city can produce some food for itself, and if the citizen like to have local food, if they want to have banana, should come from Semarang, so banana Semarang should be very good, something like that. That's a part of the. If that can happen, I think I will be quite happy with the transformation, rather than to transform totally Semarang to become food producing cities and selling cities to other part of Indonesia. I think that is not really an achievable goals. Yeah, so we have to be quite realistic, but at the same time, we work in balance. I hope that's answer your question. Yeah. And then second question from Ibu or Mbak Lilis from SCU about food waste among the millennials. I think the answer is not simple, but try to practice the so-called mindfulness. Yeah. So if we eat mindfully, if we are really mindful what we eat and the way we eat, probably we will have less waste. That's one thing. Second thing, this is very important. That's why we are proposing to have the agro site, agro food site, because the exposure or the experience to see the whole food chains is very important. If we only see our food from the supermarket as a final product, we don't know the beauty of the process. Of course, we can just discharge whatever you don't like, or I'm full already and I just discharge some of the food. But if we look at the process, we look how the farmers work, how the farmers work day by day, try to wisely use water during the dry season, and then you see how to do the harvest, how to process the food, how complicated the process are. I think this kind of exposure will give us the so-called mindfulness in the food consumption, and with that probably we will be more conscious, not just wasting our food. So I really encourage the younger generation to go for this excursion, not only to go to the durian field, durian trees, and then do the process, but to see the process. Starting from the planting until and then we have the feeling, okay, this process is so beautiful, so energy consuming, so water consuming. So we are not supposed to dispose that, because there are many people working very hard to produce that food. That's also not the reason. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prof. Widianarko. The main difficult thing in tackling environmental problem is always because the environment is always connected. One issue to another issue, one aspect to another aspects. I think Alvin also raised the question about the dependency of rice. And if I have to relate to the second question that has already been answered by Prof. Budi, that it is really hard to ask a restaurant to order only need a half food. The restaurant always keep insisting us, to pay one portion instead of half portions. So they will serve half portions, but charging us as one portions. Then sometimes people think that why should I have to pay one portions if I only need half portions? So instead of keep paying one portions and getting half portions, it is better than profitably just order one portion and then left one half portions in my plate uneaten. So that's also the culture that could be arised. Okay, I give another forum for question and answers. Is there any one from the offline? Any questions from others here? On this, so any question from this Zoom? No? Okay, so please mention your name and ask the question and address it to who.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Prof. Budi. My name is Gratia. Actually, I'm your student from back. Okay, I really want to ask one or two questions. The first is, as a student from food tech, I really understand that food waste and food loss are the things that cannot be separated from us as humans. At least there will be maybe a little food waste every day. Then, at the opportunity roadmap at your PPT, you say that strong government commitment becomes the main component. What I want to ask is it possible that in the future, food waste will have its own regulations or laws regarding this matter? Maybe it has its own undang-undang in Indonesia. That is the first question. And the second question is, I really understand too that Food Tech Unica prepares students to be able to do work in the lab, maybe food related to the technology. And in your presentation, you also mentioned that there should be someone who continues to grow crops. The question is, how should we deal with this? Should there be a department in food tech to prepare students to become farmers, or to really more understand about continues to grow crops? I think that's my question. Thank you so much.
If there's no other questions, then I will give the time for us to Professor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's good. Brilliant. Yeah. About the farmers. Once I was a little bit shocked to see a big billboard, very big billboard. But unfortunately it's not here, but in Manila it's very big. And the message is very short. The average age of the farmers, Filipino farmers, is 57. So who will provide our future food, our food in the future? More or less like that. So probably for the millennials and Y or C generation, the title of the profession, farmers as the title of profession is not very interesting. Yeah, but probably we will create something. Yeah, something to, yeah, for example, food creator professional, something. Yeah, it can be, and it can be done. And this is part of the plan of the Department of Food Technology. We would like to have the horticultural engineering, so things like that. Yeah. But of course, it's depend on the response of the younger generation, because when the label is food technology, it seems that many people will really eager to come. But as soon as there is a kind of agro or agriculture, then people start to worry because they don't want to become farmers. I don't know whether farmers and farming is professional is different, but at least, yeah. But of course, this is understandable. But I can predict, yeah, I don't think in 20 years time from now, there will be a lot of young people working on it. Because it's already, yeah, but if you go to many cities in Indonesia, you will meet someone, many people who produce microgreens, for example. There's a kind of a type of farming as well, yeah, microgreens, salad producing activities, yeah, involved in hydroponics, things like that, aquaponics. Mostly teenagers. You just go to one of the largest real estate here in Semarang. It's called Gratia. If you ever encounter, there's a very big modern hydroponics run by young people. Unfortunately, not from the Department of Technology, but instead from the Department of Management of this university. It's very, very large hydroponics. Like what you can see probably in Japan or in Korea. Very big. It's just in Gratia around the corner. Yeah, okay. Second one is regulation about food waste. Before I answer your question, I would like to touch on what Pak Benny just said. The good news, Pak Benny, there's a good news right now. As the income increases, the consumption of rice will decrease. Because those who have capability to buy food beyond the basic needs usually will try different kind of food. Of course, including those which are imported. But the combination between rice and other carbohydrate sources, fruits and vegetables, because now the process of fruit and vegetable is really very important. You go to a department store or supermarket, not department store, mini market, supermarket, or hypermarket, you can see people are willing to spend so much money just for water and a little bit prayer. That's what I said. So fruit is actually only water, mostly water, and some hopeful aspiration. So when I eat fruit, I will become healthier, which is basically just 80%, more than 80%, 90% are water. So we are happy to see that fruits, vegetables, but of course it depending on the income. So while Indonesia is now, people said, is entering the so-called upper middle income. It's a very complicated terminology. Upper middle income country. If we can become one of the high income countries, problem probably the issue of rice will not so pronounced right now. Because again, when you visit many parts of the world, switching from rice to other sample is really something very natural. Today we have lunch rice, maybe tomorrow we have another type of lunch, that's okay. And then about regulation is also the same. Young people, older people, middle-aged people, whoever they are, should be able to make distinction between wants and needs. If we go to a food court, of course, we are full of wants. They are all so beautiful, all the food are so beautiful. So you should ask yourself, can we finish it? If not, can we put it in plastic bag? We do like a plastic operation. We collect all the waste, so the leftover, and bring it home, or what? So kind of, again, mindfulness is very important. And then about the regulation, I think sooner or later it will come. If not imposed by the government, it should be imposed by citizens, including the business sector. So you go to all you can eat restaurant, you take so much, as much as you are interested or you are tempted to, and yet you cannot finish it, I think you will be punished. You will be punished. So sooner or later, this kind of awareness will come. And it's very sad if everything should be governed by regulations, by laws, and it should come from from inside, from the mindfulness of the citizen. But of course, law is important. Of course, School of Law will be very happy to accommodate this kind of need. So if you eat and you cannot finish it, I will put you not in jail, but actually for social works for 3 months, for example. I hope that will happen in Indonesia. Okay.
Yeah, there are three approaches in tackling environmental problems. First is the domain-neutral, which means using law and regulations to change our behaviors. And the second one is what they call as the economic instruments. As Professor Budi, Professor Widianarko just mentions, that you know, if you cannot eat all of your food in your plate when you have the all you can eat restaurant, then you will be punished to pay what is left over. That's one of these economic instruments, using of the economic instruments, or taxing, using taxations. You tax something that produce more pollution in the world, for instance. And the last one is the voluntary means. And I think mindfulness is part of the voluntary means. How we can mindful our actions towards the environment so that we can create a better environment. Ladies and gentlemen, I just been informed that Professor Krikke, unfortunately, he's got a flu, but he promised that he will join us, although he cannot stand for a long time. But up to now, he hasn't still joined us. So he said that probably he can spend and explain his presentation for 15 up to 30 minutes with question and answers. But since up to now, he hasn't joined us. No, not yet. So, and our time is very limited. Initially, the second plenary session was assigned until noon, 12 o'clock, and like 10 minutes. But since we started a little bit late, like 10 minutes late, then probably I can prolong until 10 past 12. So if you still have burning questions, if you still have some arguments against Professor Widianarko or Dr. Mariki, please raise your hand, whether virtually or the master of ceremony himself. I hope you will not evict us from the room.
No, okay. Hello, Mister. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Krikke. I want to ask, as we have discussed, it is ideal for our society to have this proportional diet, right? But however, as we know, Indonesian people have this culture where we usually tend to eat carbohydrate products way more than other food products. This is also supported by our culture where we have, if we haven't eat rice, we haven't eat food. Like kalau kita belum makan nasi, kita belum makan. And also supported by the high price of meat products in our country, even though we have quite lots of farms in our country. And also our people have this fairly low minimum wage, which makes our ability to buy products other than carbs, food products, to be even lower. What do you think about this problem? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Gregory, thank you for your question. Yeah, it's a tough question actually. Yeah, it's a tough question. As I mentioned in my presentation, we have the so-called double burden problem. Yeah. For those who can afford, of course, they have problem with obesity. Yeah, because they eat too much. They're not sugary, maybe carbohydrate-rich food. To those who cannot afford, also they cannot eat, food which contain less protein. So I just read a very interesting book on this topic. This is very ironic actually. So in the past, those who are rich can buy and can enjoy the processed food processed food, including maybe food in the packet, in special packaging, so packaged food. It's only those who are in privilege. But now, only rich people that can really eat the more natural food, more natural, locally, or for example, free-range chicken. Yeah. So in bahasa Indonesia is ayam umbaran. Free-range chicken is more expensive than intensively cultivated chicken, like broiler chicken. In the past, only the rich people can buy the broiler chicken because it was very exclusive at the time. But now the situation the other way around. If you don't have enough money, then you will eat processed food, you will eat intensively cultivated animal, protein producing animal. And then if you are rich enough, then you will buy organic chicken. You can buy omega-3 rich egg, which costs you probably 2 or 3 times the price of the ordinary. So you are right. The economic development is one thing, and the other thing is, of course, it will have a consequence on the not only food security, because we have to go beyond security. But of course, the priority of the government first is to provide enough food, enough mixed quantity. Then we go to the next level is, of course, should be safe and quality. And if you have more money, then you go to more natural, authentic, customized something. So we still have a long way to go. But awareness is number one. That's why those who are privileged to be educated at the university level should bear this in mind, that awareness. Probably when you finish your university education, you don't have enough money yet to implement this kind of sophisticated diet lifestyle. But as soon as you are able to get, let's say, a reasonable income, then you should start to use that. So awareness is important.
To add what Professor Widianarko just said, I think the cultural aspect of the food consumption also have a certain point here, Prof. Widianarko. Especially when the baby boomers, the way that the baby boomers relate to the rice dependency, I think is completely different, or slightly, or at least different with the way the millennials or Y generation or even Z generations relation to the rice dependency. Personally speaking, that my kids, my son and my daughter, they don't really mind if in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, even a week, having meals without rice. But for me, if I have to go abroad more than 1 month, I have to carry my rice cooker from Indonesia. So that's also, in the future might affect the rice dependency. What do you think about that?
Because I don't see anything is wrong with eating rice for me. If you look at the statistical data, you will be surprised. Rice consumption in the US is actually increasing because of the introduction of the Asian food. The invasion of the Asian food. I cannot answer your question directly, but let's say we learn from the success of instant noodle introduction in Indonesia. It was introduced late 1960s, so it's around 60 years, 50 years or something. At first, no one would like to eat instant noodle, but now you see, with all this social campaign, even warning to is how to translate it to English. So it's kind of Indomie corner, Indomie shop or corner. You can see just close to this university. It's all packed with people. So it takes 60 years. That's why I'm quite optimistic with the idea of food diversification. If we can really pick the right social promotion, the social marketing of this food. Yeah. Because now I'm afraid the so-called millennial cannot survive, I think, without instant noodle. I'm afraid. Of course, you can eat rice every day, but every now and then you will craft for rice, for instant noodle. And nothing wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with them. I'm one of the supporters of instant noodle, especially Indonesian instant noodle. If you look at the advertisement of instant noodle in Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, we have to be very proud of the product. And some of those people actually, they don't recognize that Indomie is from Indonesia. They thought Indomie is from Nigeria. Yeah, because the portion is much bigger than us. Yeah. Instant noodle. We learn from that strategy. So there's a fact, there's a hard fact that as the income increases, the rice consumption will increases. Yeah. So the old saying that I haven't eaten, if I don't eat rice, I think it should be replaced. I haven't eaten if I don't eat instant noodle Prof. Yeah. But we have to use that strategy. In my case, if I'm at home, there's no days without takeaway. Every day should have takeaway. It's all very, what do you call it, very traditional. But now you see tempeh is already consumed also by many people in the world. Yeah. Very tasty. Yeah, very tasty. Very tasty. Tempeh is one of the tastiest food on earth, invented by Indonesian people. I don't know, so I talk too much about my needs. I think this is not keynote speech, this is really like a lecture.
Yeah, but we cannot avoid that, considering that all the two speakers, one is already here, is already present or absent during the time that I celebrated for him, and the other one is online, and it's not really easy to do the physical and digital in the same time. Always, the one that presents will be asked more, will be asked will be questioned more, and also have to answer more. I still have 2 minutes. If you really have a burning questions, would you like to ask whether to Bu Fiska on behalf of the Dr. Maliki or Professor Widianarko? Is there any question from students? No? Okay, one more. Okay. Bu Alvina, one last questions. 2 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you. I just confirm to Budi. I think I agree. It's not about the rice. It's not about our dependency on rice, but it's mostly about before in the past we consume not only rice, like hard to consume it because the way we process this food already is quite different. Currently, we can find a lot of food that produce with different kind of taste, and so information I think very important to get local food become accessible for the young generation. I guess. Thank you. And then the most important, I think, the program of the government, I think, also influence the high density of rice. So the corn, for example, for the second food, or in Wonosobo, for example, for people consuming, but currently it's hard to find something like that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for your last comment without question, right? So you be confirming Professor Budi as well as you giving some information about it. Thank you very much, Bu Alvina. Still, any other question? If not, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've already done all the things that we have to say here, and we already discussed, especially, a bit sink into the food seminars instead of environment as a whole. But food is also part of the environment, and because of the conditions that the only physical persons that we meet here is Professor Widianarko, so we cannot really avoid it. So to conclude, thank you very much. Big round of applause again for our speakers, Professor Krikke here. So I will give the time and floors back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Benny, as the moderator for today's meetings, and also our distinguished plenary speakers. As a token of our thanks, please accept our virtual certificates. For the first one to Professor Budi, that will be given by Ibu Sri Hastiningsih with WSAFT from Fakultas.
M.Sc and Professors Budi. The next one is for the Dr. Maliki. We are going to give the special thanks by the certificate from virtual. And please for the operator, maybe. And the next one, we also give some souvenirs that will be given to the Dr. Maliki. Okay. Thank you for Dr. Maliki for the special talks.
And also next we will also give our thanks to Dr. Benny as our moderators today, that will be given by Ms. M.Sc.
Thank you, Ms. M.Sc and Professors and Dr. Benny. And the next one, we would like to request for all the plenary speakers and the moderator to come up to the stage to have photo session together. Also, please for Ms. Hesti and Ms. Rihoni can come onto the stage.
And also Miss Eka. Ma'am Eka.
Thank you so much for the private speakers, Mr. Benny, Ms. Ekawati, Ms. Hesti, and Ms. Rihoni.
Also, for all the participants in the Zoom meeting, please turn on your camera because we will also hold a photo session for those who are on the Zoom meeting. Thank you. Okay, for the online participant, please open up your camera because we will do our photo session. Okay, for the first slide, we will take a picture on 3, 2, 1. And for the next slide, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much for the online participant. And now we will also do a photo session for those who are attending on site. So please, everyone who attend on site can come in the front of the stage to take a picture. Okay, everyone ready? We'll take a picture in 3, 2, 1. Another one in 3, 2, 1. Okay, maybe you can give your best pose. Yay! Thank you for all the participants, and you can go back to your seat. And for all the participants, we want to also announce that we have evaluation link in the Zoom, so you can scan the barcode or access to the link that have been sent to the chat box. Thank you.
Yay, makan.
Okay, for the photo session, it's done. Thank you to the plenary speakers and the moderator. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you now for a 45-minute